certain words and quotes oftentimes catch our attention. They fascinate me. This was the quote after the overtime win in Florida last night by Dylan Larkin. We got on a roll. We've got our identity going. It's been great. What do you think he means by identity? What's their identity?
Well, their identity is their identity going means that 1-1-3, that defensive, right, not giving. When they talk about identity, it means they're playing more of the 60-minute game that we speak of, meaning dictating the play or whatever else, not giving up, the opportunities. The biggest thing, getting the saves when they need them. That's what Alex Lyon's been performing. So your identity, I think more what he's talking about is pretty much we won a game where we kept the team to 2 goals and we didn't have to, right? That has to be more their identity to win a 3-2 game than it is to win a 5-4 or a 6-5 game, right? So the identity of what's being preached, which in this league is keeping the puck out of your net, and for them to accomplish that, I think also what I hear there is you don't want to get too high, you don't want to get too low. They're just doing what they expect. Mm-hmm. These are reaching their own expectations, which is what I have expectations for them too. So again, it comes from the best part, Shep, is we can score goals now. Yeah. We can score goals with the rest of the team. We were able to do that before. Now that's check mark one thing. Now we gotta concentrate on the rest.
I thought what was really key last night, Mike, you probably noticed the same thing. They tie it at 1. Okay, they get the tip goal. Florida immediately, and in case people didn't watch the game, Florida really carried the pace early on. After they got the goal, it's almost like, I hate the phrase, but it's almost like Detroit woke up. And the Wings bounced back, started putting more pressure on, more offensive zone coverage, and more control of the puck in the offensive zone. And then Rasmussen gets the tip goal. Everybody's celebrating, right? 1-1. 16 seconds later, Florida scores to make it 2-1. And I thought, knee-jerk reaction. Well, it's going to be that kind of night. I mean, how are you going to respond from that? I think sometimes teams reveal their character more when they're down than when they're leading.
Bingo. There it is. Adversity. What are you going to find out? And why would you immediately go there, Shep? Because what has happened more times than not to this team, right? They made 2 big faux pas early in that game. Giving up a shorthanded goal and letting a team score immediately next shift after tying it up. Those are faux pas in the game. But again, like you said, sometimes it's the fact wake up, right? So I think that what has helped those guys, if I'm going to take you inside the locker room, like between periods or whatever like that, they're feeling themselves because they know they just went on the West Coast and swept those games, and they came home and played Edmonton tough and won a big game against LA. Like, they know who they are right now, so to get back to their identity and play. So they're still overcoming a few malfeasances on their own part throughout the game, right? Giving up odd-numbered rushes. The fact is you're getting saves on those now. Alex Lyon I don't know. I could probably make a highlight reel of glove saves in the past week or so, but they haven't gone in the net. So, yes, adversity will tell you, are you going to sink or are you going to swim? And to your point, that felt like one of those games that enough, we're done.
Every team's going to give up those odd man rushes, though, right? Should I?
Well,
should
it's
I be
not
cautious?
giving.
Okay.
It's you're going to give them up, but you can't give them up at the pace that the Wings give up 4 or 5 a game.
Gotcha. Okay.
If you're going to give up 1 because you're going to make a pinch or whatever like that, you can live with that because you can ask your goalie to bail you out once, maybe twice. You give them more than that, I mean, you're just asking. You're just asking for trouble.
What do you like about their overall makeup? And when I say that, I mean veterans and younger players. It's not always rookies, right? I mean, sometimes it's there's a difference between rookies and young pros in any sport. Guys can be first year in, but a guy like Rasmussen, even I wouldn't say Larkin any longer, but Raymond, Sider, those guys are young pros now. So you've got the Kopp and the Comfers, and you've got the Matas who had 2 assists. You've got some younger guys who've been around for a while. Petrie, they've been around for a while, and then you've got the younger pros as well. What do you like about that balance?
I do. I like what, we always talk about the culture and the locker room. Like the number one thing is, and this that I know, is these guys all like each other. Right, so they want to play for each other, and you have that mix of veteran guys with younger guys. I think that the key with Stevie is you look at the role guys that he's put together. Look at Daniel Sprong, and what he's provided. You look at Christian Fisher, who moved up to the third line yesterday and was as effective as that. Like your
really
role
good,
guys, right?
Plus one,
You added the Sherratts and Prawns last year, but it's just those little intricacies. You look at Gostisbehere. You know what I'm saying? Like how he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, on the power play and stuff like this. I think what you're seeing, Shep, is that Stevie put the ingredients together, and it's more or less a lot of it is personalities that'll figure it out, that won't quit, that will work. Like these guys will work. Now they got to work smarter, right? And then I think that's what we're seeing is they're working smarter and. The comfortability. It goes back to the quote where Larkin says is that we're playing to our expectations. This is the way we're supposed to play.
Yeah, that's cool.
So sometimes it just takes time to get there. And I think that there's been also too, you look at the way that the lines have been switched up and the deep ends have paired. Like Derek Lalonde and his coaching staff is still trying to find what is the best combination. I think we know it on the power play. We're pretty happy, Mikey, with the way the power play has been clicking and the special teams.
Even just the way they move the puck on the power play is so much more impressive, I think. Even if they're not scoring, the way they move it, the way they spread it out. I mean, you would know better than I would, but the way I view them, it seems like it's much crisper than it has been in the past.
Well, it's got to do with entries, and adding a Gostisbehere
Ghost for sure.
and a Kane and stuff like that. Which helps puck possession. But the thing is that when they get a power play, they more times than not, like 85% of the time, look like they can score. They're gonna score.
So Wings a winner last night. Pistons a loser last night by 7 at home to Minnesota. Now Minnesota's really good. They are. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say this is acceptable. But Anthony Edwards had 27. Karl Anthony Towns is a really good player. This is one of the better teams in the West. Some might argue it's the best team in the West right now. But the Pistons, the reason I bring this up is not to necessarily dive into Pistons basketball. Don't take this out of context because they're 4 up and 37 down. But the reason I bring it up now is because I just asked you about the makeup of the Wings and the balance of young pros and veterans. And you said they like one another. They play for one another. I don't view that the way the Pistons play.
No, you. That's exactly like you look at the Lions and you look at look at the Red Wings, and then you look in the locker room, and they're not there. They're searching like everything, and the conversation always goes back to the Pistons. But do you like this guy? Do you like this guy? Do you like this guy? So is it just they're going through it right now? And I believe that it has to only make them better moving forward. I think that it's not bad that Cade Cunningham is sitting out right now.
Why?
We saw I think mentally it was getting to him, just as a young guy, because he's throwing everything that he can at him, and then it doesn't matter. So maybe it's just a bit of a reset. But yeah, what's going on in that locker room is not going on in the locker room across LCA or in Allen Park, thank God.
Yeah.